All right, welcome everybody. Tuesday night. My name is Rachael Savage. Tuning in or streaming out. You're tuning in. I'm streaming out from Seattle, from Capitol Hill. And we're Rebel Saints Meditation Society up here on the hill, and streaming for and with Against the Stream Meditation Center. And many of you guys know Against the Stream's in LA. We're up in Seattle. We're doing teachings all week long for you guys and guided meditations, and it's great. We have the opportunity to meet as Sangha and community, even though we're still in this time of everything's not open. So here we are on Zoom, and it's good to see y'all. It's what did Joseph just tell me? The depths of August. It's actually September 1st. So here we are, still in the summer. And every Tuesday night, I talk some aspect of mindfulness. And I'll give a talk. I'll guide you in a 30-minute meditation, talk for about 30 minutes, guide you in meditation for about 30 minutes, and then we'll have some time to discuss the practice if you like. All right, the topic tonight is one of the factors of awakening. And over the next couple of weeks, I'll be going through the 7 factors of awakening in depth. I did an overview a couple weeks back of all 7, and now we'll go into a deeper look at all 7 week by week. So the first one is mindfulness. So you get an overview and a reflection on mindfulness tonight. And I think that it's very important personally in my practice to take a look at the factors of awakening, to see what it's like, what the experience of having a awakened mind and heart is, having a enlightened heart and mind, having a liberated heart and mind. So these are the qualities that we have. And in Joseph Goldstein's book, Mindfulness, which is a great commentary on the Satipatthana, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, the 7 factors of awakening are in the 4th foundation of mindfulness, mindfulness of Dhammas, which is mindfulness of the truth. And that's where we're headed. There is a goal to the practice. We're headed for awakening. We're headed for enlightenment, liberation. And this is what the quality of that mind and heart look like, feel like. This is what the experience is like. And so in Joseph's book, he talks about, in depth about the subject. And one of the things that I think is so useful that he does is he encourages in this practice to see when these factors of awakening are present, and see and know when these factors of awakening are absent. Same with the hindrances, the things that hinder our concentration and our clear seeing and our mindfulness. And we talk usually a lot about that. And here we're talking about what to look for as we awaken. And what you may see is that it's happening. If you're practicing, these factors of awakening are happening. Sometimes they're quick. It takes some time to notice them. And so we have to know what they are, and to start studying in our practice, studying our experience, noticing our experience, being aware of when the factor of mindfulness is present and what is like when it's absent. So what is mindfulness? So many people are talking about mindfulness. I hear mindfulness, 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 and what is it? What does it mean? How do you practice? And it was interesting. I was just looking at an article today. It was talking about how to cope with all the uncertainty. This is like in a newspaper, how to cope with the uncertainty of what's happening, because we don't really know. I think that's like one of the basic Buddhist teachings, but it's true. Like, we don't really know what's happening with COVID and what's happening, with that particular subject, for sure. And so it said something like, be aware in the present. And it was one of these secular, totally just, here's some tips to not go crazy during this time and, hurt your roommate or whatever. Like, here's how to not have cabin fever. And it said, oh, just be in the present. I thought, oh, that's mindfulness. Mindfulness is a present time awareness. Coming back to here and now. Now, how many times have you heard that definition? Mindfulness is an awareness of the present moment. Oh yeah, it's a good idea. I'm going to do that. And then what happens? We forget. So one of the definitions of mindfulness, actually the Pali word is sati, which means to remember. And it's said that this world we're living in, with all this pain and suffering, is fueled by these three poisons: greed, hatred, and delusion. Delusion or ignorance. And what this ignorance is like, we can kind of see what greed and hatred is like. The ignorance is this, it can be described, I think it's described in Refuge Recovery, as a sleep-like state. Sleep, it's like we're walking around in a trance or kind of asleep. And that's why we forget to be here now, that, oh yeah, when we're in the present moment, even if it's difficult, if we just come back to now, come back to our body, come back to what's happening, we calm down a little bit, even if it's difficult. And you can reflect on this. If you've had this experience, once we quit tripping about the future and dwelling about the past, often when we just come here, what's happening now, we can often go, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm in a little pain, or maybe I have fear. Once we see it, it breaks the spell. We wake up a little bit. Oh, right. Oh, I'm just in fear. So of course I'm upset. Of course I have anxiety. Of course I'm tripping, because that's what fear does. It gets the mind thinking. And so mindfulness, so simple, the instruction, just come back here, pay attention. And when we do that, things get a little more manageable. So present time, here now. And being able to see, oh, I'm doing it. I'm here, I'm now. This is what's happening. I'm sitting here in the chair. I'm listening to this talk. Here and now. So present time, non-judgmental. So it's paying attention to the here and now. And then we start to check in. There's a special attitude. Mindfulness has its own attitude. And this non-judgmental piece or aspect to mindfulness is like an observation. We become a little bit detached. We're not so focused in the grips of our experience, but we're starting to open up a little bit and just see what's happening. What's happening in our body, what's happening in our emotions, what's happening in our mind, what's happening with our senses, what's happening, what's the truth of what's happening. So we start to bring a observation, just checking it out with a little bit of detachment, but this detachment doesn't mean that we don't care and that we're not engaged. So we observe with interest. And I have to say, in my practice, this observation quality, starting to observe my practice or my experience rather, to see what's happening, it's really changed things a lot for me. So you'll just have to practice and see what happens for you. But I find I'm just not so in it if I can observe, oh, this is happening, whatever it is. So present time, non-judgmental observation. This other definition can be added in, kind awareness. So bringing a little bit of metta, a little bit of kindness in can be helpful. If we're observing, bringing some interest. I think about this in the metta teachings about friendliness, this attitude of being kind, interested. If I'm feeling friendly towards someone or something, or even if I'm observing, there I get this feeling of, I want to see what happens next. And when there's a kindness or a friendliness, there's a little bit more open-mindedness. And if we're interested in something, if we're feeling kind towards something, we can stay with it and bring kind of a curious attitude. My teacher Noah says that kindness is always appropriate. That, to me, I reflect on that a lot. Sometimes we think kindness is weak or kindness is not smart, like we're stupid if we're kind. That kindness is always appropriate. So I've kind of taken that on as, well, let's see. Let's see what happens if I try to bring an attitude of kindness to whatever it is I'm observing in the present moment. I was just listening to Ajahn Amaro as well, and he was saying, I heard him say this multiple times, just because we're kind, we have a kind awareness, doesn't mean we have to like it. Sometimes we think if we're kind, it means we have to we have to love it. It's more of an acceptance. Present time, non-judgmental, kind, investigative. So as we bring friendliness, as we attend to what's happening, we can get curious and start to investigate. What is it like? So often, whatever's happening in our present experience, we want to know why. Why is this happening? Or, what made this happen? We just want to get down to why, especially so if it's unpleasant, we can stop it, right? Natural, totally natural. And here the question isn't so much why, it's how am I seeing what's happening? What's my attitude toward what's happening? And bringing this investigation, which is also the second factor of awakening. So this one's a little bit of a mix. Bringing this curiosity to our experience can also help us get a little space from identifying with it so much. As this is me and this shouldn't be happening and I want this and I don't want that. Like, okay, this is what's happening. It's like this. What's it feel like? How long is it going to last? I was I was on a Goenka retreat last year, which is a Vipassana practice, and it's really, in my opinion, not quite as austere as Zen practice, but pretty friggin' austere. Like you get up really early in the morning, it's hours of sitting every single day. Every sit is like at least an hour long, and it's physically and mentally super challenging. And he was saying something about when we have experience, especially if it's difficult, or even if it's pleasant, whatever's happening with mindfulness, he would say, see how long this lasts. Just my knee's on fire. My back is on fire. I had a lot of physical pain on that retreat in particular. So I tried to bring that attitude. Oh, let's see how long this lasts. It feels like it's going to last forever. Bringing that kind of a little bit of playfulness with our experience. This whole thing as well is, I think it's important not to get too serious. We practice this stuff. If we effort so hard that we're just like, totally upset if we're not getting it right all the time. I mean, I get it. We want to be free from suffering. It takes a while. And so I think it's important to practice with a light heart, practice with some ease, and practice with a sense of humor too. We can start to watch our mind and our body and our experience and just hopefully start to laugh at ourselves a little bit. Present time, non-judgmental, kind, investigative awareness. What is happening? So we can't control so much of our world, so much of our inner experience, so much of our outer experience. Our body just does whatever the hell it wants. Our mind thinks all on its own, all kinds of ridiculous things. Our emotions, our emotions just do whatever they want as well, right? So we can't really control that stuff. We can focus and learn to control our awareness, where we place our attention. And that's huge. That's completely life-changing. When we stop trying to control what we can't control, and we start to train and control what we can, which is our attention. That's what we mean by training the mind. We train our attention to stay where we decide we're going to put it. Focus on what we decide we're going to focus on. So that's what mindfulness looks like. And so the first instruction in this practice is to see when it's present. To know, oh, I'm being mindful. I can feel my toes. I feel I have one foot is cold and one foot is warm. I'm mindful of my body. It's happening. So whatever we become aware of, and we know that we're focused and we're keeping our attention on it, then we're mindful. And so we start to see this quality more and more as we practice. So the next instruction is to see when mindfulness is not present. So many of us, our minds are not that well trained. We tell our attention to stay, let's say, with mindfulness of the breath. Okay, I'm going to stay with the breath. And what happens? And, it goes wherever it wants to go sometimes, often. And the Buddha talked about this as the monkey mind. That our mind is like a wild monkey. And have you seen a wild monkey lately? Some footage of a wild monkey. I mean, they are like all over the place. Swinging from branch to branch, the Buddha said, swinging from branch to branch, from the past to the future. And we can see this as we practice. We focus on the breath, and then we're off to the past. All right, back to the breath, or off to the future, planning. And even after we've been practicing a while, sometimes some days are just more challenging than others in the training. We just keep bringing that monkey back. Okay, here now. Stay. And off back to the, and that's actually the meditation practice, the bringing back, the returning. Sati, the remembering, oh yeah, right. I'm practicing mindfulness meditation. I was off. So sometimes, often actually, people get discouraged with their practice. Like, well, I tried to meditate on the breath and I was all over the place. Part of the practice is seeing that we're all over the place. As soon as we know we're gone, we actually have mindfulness. When we realize, oh yeah, I was meditating. I just went to freaking Jupiter. Right? Oh, right. Back here. You're doing it. It's mindfulness. It's happening. So I just see a lot of students, and I've been guilty of this myself, get discouraged that, oh, I lost the object. I lost it. It doesn't matter that we've lost it or how long we've been gone. The thing that matters is that we woke up again, oh yeah, and came back. And as many of you know, we do this many, many times throughout our meditation sessions. And of course, we get better at it, like any kind of skill. We get better at it. But depending on what's going on in our lives, some days are going to be more challenging than others. Our mind sometimes really loud, really critical, judgmental, comparing. It's got all kinds of stories and opinions. My mind is like nonstop opinionated. It will give me opinion about everything. Unwanted opinion. So seeing when mindfulness is not present. That is part of our practice. We just become more and more aware of how our mind works. Ajahn Chah says the way to learn about the mind is to sit down and watch it. And that's what we do in the mindfulness practice. We start to just check, we sit still and start checking out what's going on. All right, let's see what's up then. Let's practice it. Mindfulness. So go ahead and find your meditation posture. And we'll practice together. Maybe you can sit on a chair, maybe you have your cushion at home, the couch, and sitting upright with mindfulness practice. Sitting upright and taking your posture. Gently close your eyes. And let your hands rest on your lap or on your legs. And bring awareness, your mindfulness, to your body sitting. And you can gently scan your body from the top of your head all the way down, just releasing any tension that you can let go of. Soften the jaw, relax your shoulders, and soften your belly. And the main practice tonight is this practice of mindfulness. And it's attention to now. And beginning with our body, just feeling the sensations of sitting. I'm sitting here now. And you can let go of the doing. Only thing that we're practicing here is keeping our awareness on the here and now, here in the body. Feel the pressure of your seat on your cushion or chair. The weight of your hands wherever they're resting. Check out the temperature of your body. Where is it warm? Where is it cool? Bring attention to your body breathing. Wherever you feel your breath coming and going most easily, just keep your attention there. Nose or belly. As you breathe in, know that you're breathing in. As you breathe out, know that you're breathing out. And of course, in the beginning or any time in the meditation, we might see this monkey mind. Swinging from branch to branch, from the past to the future, to somewhere else. And know that as soon as you remember, oh yeah, I'm meditating, knowing when mindfulness is absent, when we wake up, just kindly and gently, bring your awareness back to your breathing. And knowing when mindfulness is present. Present time, non-judgmental, kind, investigative awareness. And breathing. Staying with the breath tonight to develop and notice these different aspects and qualities of mindfulness. Bring a non-judgmental awareness to your breathing. What's it like when we can just observe our breathing without comparing or judging, even our breathing? How's your attitude? Bringing a kind awareness to our breath, to the present moment. And if you find yourself being critical or harsh with yourself in your practice, you can just let that go. Practicing this breath awareness with a light heart. Observing the monkey mind with a little bit of sense of humor. Returning the awareness again and again, training your attention to stay where you choose. Hear the breath. You can bring an investigative quality to the practice. Noticing, are you on an inhale or an exhale. Always knowing whether you're inhaling or exhaling. We just let the breath be as it is, normal, natural. And noticing, is it the breath long? Is it short? Is it deep? Is it shallow? As we watch, we'll notice the breath changes all on its own. Investigate the temperature of your breath. Is the temperature different as you inhale? Does it feel cool? Is the temperature different as you exhale? Does it feel a little warmer? Where do you feel the breath? Do you feel it inside your nostrils? On your upper lip? The tip of your nose? Few more minutes left in our session. Again, know when mindfulness is present. Know when mindfulness is absent. Continue practicing until you hear the sound of the bell.